Reptilians, how y'all doing? Today is Thursday, March 18th, 2021. Crypto crackheads, chill out. I'm going to address you next. Anyway, Cryptilians, I hope that you're having a good Thursday. All right, crackheads. Okay, chill out, crypto crackheads. Your turn. Crypto crackheads, how you doing? Today is still Thursday, March 18th. Nice to see you too. Thanks for coming in and seeing my channel here. If you're new to the channel, you get to select your crypto pronoun, Cryptilian or crypto crackhead, if you subscribe and hit the bell so you can tune in and see another way to view the market that is not everything goes up forever. So this channel's intent is to help people who are new to crypto maximize their gains so they know what the hell's going on in the market, because about 97% of crypto YouTubers, all they do is talk about hype. Cardano to $25, which if that's what you want, that's fine, but that's probably not what you need to be hearing, even if it is true. It's not how you maximize your gains. Or Chainlink to $700. That's all you're going to be hearing in this channel. I'm going to feed it to you straight so you understand what the hell is going on. There's a big learning curve here, and most of you all are retail investors, which means you came to this space around January of 2021, plus or minus. So if you haven't been in the space since early 2020, then you are a retail investor, and this channel's for you. And it can be for other folks who have been in the space for a while as a hodler, HODLER, hodl, and you want to learn how to maximize your gains as well, apart from just hodling, which is an okay way, but it's far from the best way. Anyway, so we're going to jump into it. I typically start with, so my channel essentially began by covering BPRO, because I scouted that after about 4.5 years of understanding what makes a coin essentially do ridiculous gains in terms of its tokenomics, what the hype words of the run are this time. So in 2017, the hype words were smart contracts, Ethereum killer, right? Every single coin besides Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Bitcoin SV, Satoshi's Vision, and Ethereum itself. Oh, and Tether. So besides those 5 or 6, and XRP. So I think there were set outside of 7. The other 13 coins in the top 20, and you can view this on CoinMarketCap. You go to the historical shot. All the rest in the top 20 were Ethereum killers, saying smart contracts, smart contracts, smart contracts, right? So essentially what I've been doing over the 4 years to try to help you all out, even though I didn't realize I was going to do YouTube, it was an accident. But anyway, I've been studying what makes that happen and what the emerging words are. And the words this time are DeFi is the big one, protocol, cross-chain, things to that effect, interoperability. Those are the big ones, and they often go together. And Oracle was the other one. So interoperability and cross-chain are essentially synonyms. Same thing. They might be slightly different though, but they're essentially the same. And then oracles. But oracles are actually the way that a coin is interoperable. But I think it helps multiple blockchains interact with each other. But anyway, so something that goes like a carrier pigeon, essentially. Because that's one of Ethereum's biggest drawbacks, is the inability to do that. So the space has really erupted with that. But then it started mixing with DeFi. So you got a lot of coins with a bunch of the, like all 4 hype words, and they often go together. Like BPRO has 3 of the 4. I think they just don't have Oracle. So they're not an Oracle service. They're not necessarily assisting other blockchains communicate with each other. However, they do have interoperability because it itself can communicate with Ethereum, Polkadot, and there's one other. I think it might be Binance Chain or what. There's a third. But anyway, it itself is interoperable. Anyway, I've been studying this stuff And so I chose 𝐵PRO and have been covering it. So I usually cover it first because that's what my viewers want. But instead of being like a news outlet giving the viewers what they want, I'm gonna give you what you need, okay, to maximize your gain. So let's jump into it. What you all need now is you need to be looking at Bitcoin, not like in buying it, but the price in terms of protecting yourself, managing your risks, and understanding what's happening in the market. I think I'm using the wrong chart. There we go. So I have the thought process that Bitcoin is going to scream down here, okay, to 39.5 or 4,000. Everybody's bullish on Bitcoin, and I'm pretty much the only person on all of YouTube saying the opposite. I still think I'm going to end up being right, and I don't think Cardano is going to moon, even though I think it might have just broken all-time highs. I think it's going to fall flat on its face. It is possible that Bitcoin does do this, and Cardano separates itself from Bitcoin, because Cardano has done a good job separating itself from the rest of the market this year. So it is possible that I'm correct with Bitcoin and wrong with Cardano, and it's possible that I'm just friggin' wrong, right? Like, even though I've been on a roll lately, but your roll always ends. Like, you can't stay on a roll forever, right? However, I still think that what we just saw in the market with Bitcoin and potentially with Cardano, even with this free stimulus money, monopoly money, paper with smiley faces on it being printed by the Fed, even though a lot of people think that's going to pump the price, I think it's a false rally. And I think leverage exchanges are going to be using the Bitcoin that they have been buying down here and, essentially taken from leverage traders who over leverage themselves and get liquidated and lose all their money. I think they're going to crash the price on purpose, and take the risk of selling and not overcoming the buy pressure and kind of losing their money, because there's so much incentive for them to do it, because everybody is longing everything right now. If you go to different exchanges and see the ratio of longs to shorts, it's too high. Historically, I think it's 100% of the time, 100, with zero exceptions. I should back check that. I don't know if that's 100% accurate. I will probably follow up with that thought in the next video. I think it's 100% of the time when longs versus shorts get to a certain point, price tanks. And it doesn't just tank because it often is already seen in the charts. So I don't think Bitcoin and the whole market, maybe besides like 20% of altcoins, right? Because if Bitcoin tanks, oftentimes more of your hype-ish coins, like one of the biggest hype coins outside of Cardano, which has been the hype coin for 4.5 years, is 𝐲𝐻𝐼. So if Bitcoin takes down here, I would bet that people who have Bitcoin are seeing it falling and they will buy 𝐲𝐼 because it's the hype right now. I bet 𝐲𝐼 would probably go like 3 or 4x. Do I like 𝐲𝐼 personally as an investment? No, because its market cap is too big. The gains are peanuts compared to what we cryptillions and crypto crackheads are getting with our small caps. Small caps move harder, faster. Doesn't matter if what your YouTuber says chain link to $700. That's not going to happen. At least not this run, not this year. And then it's going to crash 95% around January. Starting in January. It won't crash 95% in January. It'll take an entire year and a half. And if you don't believe me, go pull up TradingView and look at the Cardano chart. It's going to happen again. But anyway, so I don't think it just because longs and shorts. That is just one piece of the story. And if you've been following my channel, you know that we don't just say this is going to happen. Even if we have 5 reasons to think that, we don't say this is going to happen. We pick our 3 most probable and our 2 what ifs, right? Like, for example, if you like 𝐲𝐼, 𝐲𝐼 doesn't have much price history. It's brand new. Like 𝐵PRO. Let me turn down the volume on my phone. If you want to get into 𝐵PRO or sell some 𝐵PRO high and buy it back low, you always, regardless of what you're doing, if you're buying and selling, and not just hodling. You need to have your 3 most probable and 2 what ifs so you can make good judgments and know how to react if what you think is most probable doesn't happen. Then you can flip, you can adjust and say, okay, it looks like one of the other 2 are happening. Or in the case of BPRO, one of my what ifs happened. And that's why we do that. It broke out about 10 days earlier than I thought, the 14th. Yeah, about 12 days earlier than I thought was most probable. Oh no, my 3rd most probable I said around the 20th. So about 6 days. It broke out 6 days earlier than my 3rd most probable, but my first 2 most probable were around the 25th for damn good reasons. And we'll see that here. If you haven't tuned into this channel before, you'll see that here. Anyway, with Bitcoin, you need to be looking at Bitcoin price, at least some, if you're looking at price action at all on any coins, because Bitcoin moves the market. Almost everything moves with it besides some altcoins. Ethereum and Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, they all move with it. 80 to 90% of the market moves with Bitcoin. Anyway, so the leverage trading ratio is too high. I think it has 100% accuracy. But that's not why I think Bitcoin is going to correct heavily here. I've covered in multiple videos, including my recent charting video, on how to use RSI. So RSI is this green line. The moving average of RSI is the white line. Okay. And in my previous video, if you haven't seen it, it should be in the description section, actually, the chart one. How does he set up his charts? But anyway, we're having a 3-strike rule here, folks. And the track record of a 3-strike on the weekly, it's pretty dang high. It's close to 100% of playing out, which is why I'm really surprised my mentor, who's down in the description section, who I've watched for 4 years as a professional trader. He's not just a crypto guy. He was a professional trader on the New York Stock Exchange floor, literally. But he doesn't know hardly anything about cryptocurrency. And he's one of the people who helped convince me that you don't need to. It's all in the charts. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't need the Cardano to the moon videos. You can just see it in the charts. It doesn't matter. And it's true. You can. But it takes a while to understand that. And, it's one of those things where, good advice, you typically have to learn it the hard way yourself, right? And then after you do, then you can give that advice. And then when you give that advice, the people don't take it. They learn it the hard way too. And then they think back, shit, he told me that. And then they give advice. The cycle it's just human nature. And it's really hard to take advice it's really hard to believe it, right? If you can't see it yourself and you haven't lived through it through your own experiences. But I've lived through it in my own experiences because I've already been through a whole bear market and a bull market. So this is not my first bull market. Anyway, 3-strike rule here. Somebody asked me what that meant. So if you can see here, the green line, this is the highest high recently, right? There's no green point above it. Price is here at 37,000. So is that a strike yet? It is not. Next high of the green. It is lower than this one. Is price higher? 57,000. Yes. So that means this is the second strike. This is the first strike. Had this green gone higher, then none of them would be strikes yet. But because you have a higher high and a lower high, a higher high on price and a lower high here on the green, okay, where my cursor is, see this moving around? You have a lower high here, but a higher high in price up here. Let's see if I can do a drawing tool. So that is there we go. So we got a higher high on price and a lower high here. See that? Hell yeah, that's way better than what I've been doing in my previous videos. You can see that a lot better. I don't know why I haven't been doing that. So that's strike 2, and that makes this strike 1. This is now strike 1. Okay. Now we have a higher high here, because this was only 57. This got up to 61 and change. Is the green, is this higher or lower than these two? It is lower, but price is higher. Third strike. On the weekly, and cryptillians and crypto crackheads know that the weekly is the granddaddy time frame. It is the granddaddy time frame. So that's why this is the main reason why I think Bitcoin is going to correct. Now, why do I think it's going to hit this line? Because this is huge resistance. Monstrous resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. And then this candle body started off of it perfectly. Do you think so? It's not a coincidence that this candle body here, so if I move this, it's not a coincidence that it roughly aligns with these two. That's like the week closed here. It would have been more perfect if it closed just a few $100s lower. It's not a coincidence because this is heavy, 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 heavy support. And I almost guarantee you it was below this until the last like few hours or maybe the last day. Actually, let's go down and check, see if I'm right. See, it did it on the last day of the week. It closed right there. Right there. So on this day. Actually, no, it might have been this. It was this day here. So you see, price made a run on the close of the weekly candle. It made a run. It was down here the entire time. And when that happens, oftentimes price does keep going up. But I think the recent run on Cardano is a setup and it's a trap for leverage traders. But anyway, let's go back to the week. So this is why I think Bitcoin's going to fall down, because it's the track record's too good. If you don't believe me, let's zoom out. So even though I'm not talking about BPro right now, this applies to BPro. How? Because I tweet. If you don't follow me on Twitter, my Twitter is the same as my name here, but with the number 2. Okay, cosasverdes 2. Go scroll down. It's probably like the 9th one back or something like that about my exact guess on BPro, what it will do until March 26th, and exactly where it'll go, up to where, down to where, sideways, every direction but left, right? Because you can't go left on a chart. It's the only direction you can't go. You can go straight up, straight down, and straight right. You can move straight across if price doesn't change. A stable coin like Tether, it moves straight across, right? Anyway, look. This run was very different in structure. You didn't really have a lot of 3 strikes. However, you did here. This isn't a true 3 strikes. Oh, this is making me, here we go. On that $14,000 run. Okay. RSI high. This is not a higher high. So this isn't technically the same. This is not a legit 3 strike, but you'll see what I'm saying regardless. It met about the same high, a lower RSI. That's pretty dang similar. Maintaining that roughly the same price level, way lower RSI. So you're getting divergence. Price really is not going down, but the RSI is telling you something. That's why it's called an indicator. It's indicating something that you can't really see in the price. It gives you a head start, or not necessarily a head start. It's more like a clue on what will happen. And you see that RSI, the green, got stuck below the white. The white is the moving average. When this happens on the weekly time frame, 2 things can happen. If it gets stuck like this for a bit, it can bust through. This is rarer though. And that still could happen with Bitcoin. That's what my mentor, who's in the description section, he thinks that's what's going to happen. I think this is going to happen because it's way more common. And there's another reason I think, and I'll show you here in a second. Gets stuck below and it keeps going down when it's stuck. it has to essentially typically hit this white line or the red line in order to ever break back up. That's why it's less common that this happens. Typically, you can't get a spring until you hit the white line or the red line, and that's across time frame. See where my cursor is up here? That's 2 hour, 4 hour, whatever. It doesn't matter. Typically, if you get stuck below this line, the green will hit, regardless of the time frame. The green will hit the white or the red. It's like 80% of the time. It is way over 50%. That's why I think I have better than house odds on price going down. Okay, I still haven't covered why I think it's going to hit that line though, but I'm showing you why this is important for the whole market. So from the high to the low, look, that doesn't see, so that correction didn't look big when you're zoomed out, right? You know, in the grand scheme of things. Actually, it kind of did. Well, maybe it didn't. But look how big of a freaking correction this is, folks. Almost 70%. You know what Bitcoin's price would be if it went down 70% right now? I don't think that's what's going to happen, by the way. I'm not trying to scare you. This white line's only 36%. Guess what? A pretty typical correction is in Bitcoin. About 32%, 35%. Anyway, 70% price correction would put us down to 20,000. Likelihood of that happening is probably under 1%. But the point is, this typically creates powerful moves. And it's also powerful when you hit the red line or go below it or just hit the white line and then you green. See how down here, see how the weekly, the green crosses with strength. It's not just kind of crossing, like staying, it's not just like doing this, you know, like that. It's crossing with force. That is really bullish, especially since it's on the weekly. And it's pretty bullish when it's on the 2 hour too. That means local, like the movement the rest of the day is likely to go up, or at least the next 12 hours. Especially if the 2 hour, on the 2 hour, for example, let's just go to it. Let me show you. Especially when the 2 hour can come above it and come down, make it a downward slope, and then get a positive slope. That typically means the rest of the day price will go up. You miss out on a lot of price movement. So see how Bitcoin was going down here for, I mean, this is huge, folks. Like on a percentage basis, like 25% correction. So when you know that you're pulling out of it is when RSI has hit the red line and confidently goes above, stays above, and the moving average crosses the white line. That means price will typically start going back up. Did you catch all three of those? RSI hits either, it's typically the red on a shorter time frame. Bigger time frames, it's often the white. Bigger time frame mean day, weekly, month. Smaller time frames, red. If you hit the red, so all of these conditions combined, hit the red line with the if the green hits the red, not the moving average. If the green, which is the RSI, hits the red and goes back above its moving average, the white line, and the moving average crosses above the white line, this is typically right here a very good entry point for the next day, week, whatever. So this is the 1st of March to the 9th of March, so the week. Okay, what is Bitcoin doing now? On the 2 hour, it is satisfying that. It does all three. So the 2 hour says we're going up, right? However, the Big Daddy time frame disagrees, and Big Daddy typically wins the arguments with his kids. The 2 hour is his 2-year-old child. So why do I think it's going to hit this white line? Well, because this yellow line is going to cross at the same time. Huge resistance. Previous resistance becomes future support. Cryptalians, crypto crackheads know this. Cryptalians and crypto crackheads also know that when two super important lines cross, what happens? Price gets sucked into it. That means it could suck price up, or it means it could suck price down, depending on if those two lines are crossing above current price or below current price. It doesn't matter what direction. So that's another clue. So right now we have longs versus shorts. RSI on the weekly is stuck below its moving average. How many is that? 3. It has 3 strikes. Okay. Yeah, so we're stacking up here. These are all it's stacking up. Okay, here's the most powerful reason though. 5 reasons. And this is also why I'm shorting Cardano. Even though stimulus money came out, because I think Cardano is going to move with Bitcoin. Because the exchanges want to take your money. They're not going to take people's money for Bitcoin and not for Cardano. Here's the biggest reason though, folks. So the price, so look at the dates down here where my cursor is. 2013 run got up to about 1280, just call it 1300. This is the 27th. This right here is the 2017 peak. This right here is 2013. So you're looking at 4 years of price action. Okay? That's what you're seeing right now. After price went down and passed its all-time high, which it passed it here. Let's not count this one though, where it touched the yellow line. After it confidently passed its all-time high, it hit the yellow line, which is the week. So we're on the weekly. Up here, see the W? It hit its yellow line once, twice. Both about when it was halfway up its run. This one was in July. This one was in September. So I guess it is kind of possible that this doesn't happen yet, because the dates should, they might end up aligning. The reason I don't think they're going to align because this run's been heavier. We've gone up so much faster. How many times do you see price hitting the yellow line? 0. And the last time it touched it, we were at half the all-time high. 10,000. It hasn't touched it since 10,000. Look what it did back here as it was trying to cross. About half. Look, it hit it here. Okay, that's what we just saw. Hit it at 10,000. It hit it on its way up to its all-time high. It hit it right after. So this is where it hit its all-time high and then rechecked it. So Bitcoin this time just screamed through its all-time high. It didn't do this. This is partly why this is another. So this did not happen. So you see how this was the all-time high right here. It hit it, passed it, and then crashed down. Does that look like a big crash to you? Does it? Let's see how big it was. I think it's going to be around 35%. Look in the middle of the red box. 35%. Isn't that like 7 reasons now? I think it's going to happen, folks. I think it's going to happen now. As in late March, early April. Okay, so this is when it checked its all-time high. Then it screamed past its all-time high. Went on what percentage of a run from the green line? 151. You remember that number, 150. Passing its all-time high, it went up 150% and did what? Checked its 21. Do you think this correction was close to 35%? %. Okay, it's checked it twice so far. Let's take from the middle of this. So not the upper, not the lower, about the middle, right? Where we have a lot of support resistance. From its support resistance, screamed up about 100%. So now I want you to remember two numbers, 150 and 100. What did price do? It went down to touch the yellow line. Why did it do it so quickly? So this wick here, that means it did it fast. Because price needed to touch it to go up higher, but exchanges that allow leverage did not want people to see it. So they bought it up before people could long it. Because if you are able to long Bitcoin or any big coin in a correction that hits its weekly 21 and you hold it till December, you're going to make a lot of money. And whose money is that? Essentially, it's people shorting it. But if everybody's longing, you're taking the exchange's money that they're getting from trading fees. They don't want you to take their money. They're in it for profit. They're a business. Exchanges bought this. This is not people. Well, it might have been people who know to buy it. But, so this could have been a couple whales. This could have been. But you know who the biggest whale, some of the biggest whales in all of crypto are? The exchanges. They have more Bitcoin than almost anybody. Seriously, they do. Because Bitcoin has a public database. All transactions are public. It's public data. Which in my opinion is one weakness of Bitcoin. Which is why I like anonymous coins. But it also could be a strength, though. So that's why I think more than one. So as a store, and I think actually Bitcoin might stay as a store of value because it works like that. And a store of value kind of does need a public record. But anyway, so 3 times on the way up. So remember those two numbers, 150 and 100. I don't know a better way to get rid of all my drawing tools. Sorry. Close your eyes for a second. I'm hitting Control Z for back. All right. Look what we have going on. Has it? Remember 150 and 100? It hit it 3 times during those runs. It touched the yellow, then went 150. So touched the yellows, 1, then went 150, went down how many percent? 35%. And when it hit the yellow line the first time, it went down 35%. The second one was 38%. The third one was about 35% too. So it hit its all-time high, went down 35%. Just remember, so let's recap what we just saw before we do it here and why I think this is the ultimate reason why it's going to go down. Past all-time high, went down 35%, so it could go up higher. You gotta get down to get up. 150% went down 38% to touch its line, so it could go up. Went up 100%, came down 35% roughly to hit its line, the yellow line, so it could give one last hoorah. Very similar to the RSI, where RSI, let's go to the 4 hours so you can see it better. RSI typically needs to hit this red line before it can go back up. Sometimes it needs to hit it twice on smaller time frames. See how it hits the red line, then powers up? Hits the white line, then powers up? Hits the white line and powers up? And here, it must have gone up really high from it hitting red line twice. See down here? So having hit the red line twice allowed it to go up for a longer period of time. Because it went up for so long, then it had to really hit it for a long time in order to do what? In order to go up again. It'd be nice if I could see price history while I'm doing this. Look, hit the red line here. Price was here. It powered up for how long? A long time. Then what did RSI have to do? It had to go back down to the red line. So this is similar to hitting the yellow line on price, right? Since it went up so much, the RSI on the 4-hour had to build a bigger base. And where to do it? The red line. And then what did it allow price to do? It allowed price or RSI to stay high for a long time or price to go up a long time. Then what happened? Then it hit the red line and built a base. These things align with the weekly that I just showed you. So it's happening on the RSI, but it's not happening on price on the moving average, which is what the yellow line is. It's a moving average. Like, so there's like, that's indicator divergence. Something is wrong. Warning signs flashing. All right. Are we stacking up reasons yet? Do you see why this applies to BPRO yet? Because a lot of stuff moves with it. So BPRO could, you know, not crash down like below 1.6 cents. I don't think that'll happen, but it could happen violently. And you could get scared out of your money if you don't know what's going to happen. And you can apply this to every coin you like, because it's hit or miss which coins will go up when Bitcoin falls, because you don't know which ones people are going to be buying besides 𝐾𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐸, because it's the hype coin right now. And people might be buying Cardano, and it might go up. It's possible. It's typically the hype coins that go up when Bitcoin goes down, but about 80% of the market falls. Even though BPRO is kind of hyping right now, which I started that trend. Thank you very much. I'm usually not a trendsetter. I typically don't like trends unless it's trading. Then I like trends. But anyway, so, okay, look. So going back to the thought, how many times have we hit this yellow line? 0. Want to guess how far we've gone up since we touched it? 500%. Something is wrong. You see what I'm seeing now? Now we have like 10 freaking reasons. The shit is staring us in the face. I hope I'm making sense. So, yeah. So it's overdue to hit this yellow line so it can do what? So it can go up. It has to at some point. And it's way overdue, 500% versus 150% and 100%. Yo, RSI is checking the right stuff on the 4-hour. Why isn't price? That's like a type of divergence. It's like a mega divergence. We have divergence on the RSI itself too. Indicator over indicator over indicator over indicator. Sign after sign is saying, yo, big clues, right? Okay, so let me break this down. What relative strength is this. Imagine you're watching a dude bench press, right? He stacks up 2 cookies, looks pretty strong. You make a guess in your head before he starts how many reps he can get. Okay, just imagine that. Seriously, imagine it. Being at the gym, see a dude pop up, 225 pounds for my kilo people. I can't divide by 2.2 that fast in my head. Roughly 100 kilos, I guess. Maybe, yeah, something like that. Anyway, so you take a guess on how much he can do it. Your guess likely will be better if you guess after he starts, right? And your guess will get even better once you see him getting tired. Because then you know he's probably only got 3 left. So now, however many he's done, you can add 3, and your guess is probably going to be much better at that point than it was before he started, right? That's what relative strength does. So look, that like literally, that is probably the best way possible to explain what relative strength is. I came up with that when somebody asked me on my YouTube channel. Here, so look. So here is like the point in which he hasn't started yet. You make your guess. Here's the point which he's done 3 reps, going strong. Here's the point in which he's done 6 or 7. He's kind of slowing down, looking hard. It's looking hard here. Now that we've gone under the white line, this is the point where his arms are shaking and his left arm is below his right hand and he's pushing lopsided. That's what this is. Your guess is going to be good. That's probably the last rep. And if he tries another push up, he's going to fall and he needs help. He's got to get down to get up, and the spotter's going to get him. This is what's happening on Bitcoin. Yo, arms are shaking. The bar is not level. You don't even need those other 9 reasons. You can see it with the weekly RSI. Do you think we could see it with the daily RSI? Hell yeah, but it's more mountains. It's the white line. Watch. Ah, crap. Look, it's the white line. White line is high. Price is here, 40,000. Another mountain of the white line, it's lower. Price is higher at 57. Goes down. Oh, and look where the green line touches the white line. You gotta get down to get up. Second mountain is lower, but price is higher. You gotta get down to get up. Hits the white line again. Goes up. The white line that's mountain is way lower and price is higher. So you can see it. I mean, look, like you honestly, you don't even need this. Look. You can see the relative strength here. Look. Big push. That is a badass move, people. That is way stronger than 2017 and 2016. This is insane. Bitcoin's moves right now are strong. That's like the dude putting the bench presser. My ass is getting cold. I'm in Indiana, so it's March, and I guess we're still technically in winter, so it's kind of cold outside. But anyway, big hoorah push, right? He busts out 8 reps, like way more than you thought. You thought he was only going to do 8 in total, right? Because you saw some other guy about the same size, 2017. He only got 4 real strong. This dude busts out 8. Then he busts out 3 more, right? Busts out 3 more. They're a little slower. Still looking good, though. And then here, so what is he at, 11 now? On the 12th and 13th, oh boy, he's starting to shake. Do you see how much smaller these pushes are getting? It's condensing. The bench presser. The shit's going down, people. I'm telling you. However, the hardest part about trading is not the direction, it's the timing. It could give one more quick pop and then scream down. It could easily do it. The reason I don't think it will, the green is going through there. I think it's just going to pierce through and come down, though. I don't think it's busting through. It doesn't have the power. You got to get down to get up, folks. You can't just do another pop without this touching the white line. And because this needs to touch the white line, it's going to cascade the next time frame up, the granddaddy. It's going to cascade it and trigger what? The fact that this needs to touch the white line too. It's a cascade. It's going to cascade like a domino. It'll make it so that this starts its descent here. It's going to happen, people. I don't know why good traders don't see this, and there are a lot of them out there. Not actually, there aren't very many. If you see people on YouTube, traders talk about head and shoulders, triangles work, diagonal lines and horizontal lines work in Bitcoin, but all those formations don't work because you just have to keep moving your lines to keep your formation. And I actually did that live in a B-Pro video. One day I told them, actually, let's go. So I'm done with Bitcoin. So that's Bitcoin. I actually did that with B-Pro. I'm going to the 2-hour time frame. I had this line up here. I had it flat. And I told, or maybe not flat, but something like this. I think I connected it to here. And I said, hey, we have a triangle, folks, an ascending triangle. But I said specifically in the video, the only problem with patterns like this is that you often have to adjust, and I even moved the line down as an example. You often have to do this. And guess what happened within 2 days? I had to move my line way down. Like this. And then I had to go like that, like something like this. Which is why I'm really surprised it broke out here, because it usually gets to here. 70% of the triangle. That's very, very likely, like super likely, that it will not bust out before. And because we had two important lines crossing, this blue origin line, video link down there, what that means, crossing with the top of the formation, two important lines, I thought it was going to bust out here on the 26th. My two most probable were here. My third most probable was it will stay above this blue line and bust out. And my one of my what ifs was it'll bust out way earlier. And it did. It was one of my what ifs. Hitting this green line almost exactly. After it broke out, I actually said this is probably most probable, because on the 1 hour, it was staying above the yellow line. If you're staying above the yellow line with confidence and pinging off of it, that means you're going up. And I knew already to where it was going to go up. My origin line, period. It's not through the rest of the year, folks. For those who think shit can go up forever, no. BPRO will not pass this line. It's not going to happen. It will not happen. It could spike through it just like it did here. Absolutely. But a daily or a weekly especially weekly, will not close. It won't close above there. When you see price the rest of this year hit this green line, guess what you do? If you're not staking all of your BPRO, take profits. But I'm a BPRO loyalist. Yeah. So that means you sell it when you're supposed to sell it, because when it comes down, you can do what? Buy more of your loyal coin. You don't just hold shit and hope for the best. That's what this channel is about. I'm trying to teach you how to make money. Not just, I'm gonna hodl for generations. No. No. All right. Here's how I drew this line. See these two tops? Wait, one top, two top, three top, almost four tops. Then this top. Trend line. It's going to be a master trend line. It's not going to change. Why do I know it's not going to change? Because BPRO will not be $30 by May. It's not going to be as big as Ethereum. Like, that would put it like the size of Polkadot. That ain't going to happen. Therefore, BPRO's not going to pass the line. And if it does, you need to be taking profits, because it won't stay above and it will crash down. Probably 50%. Just like Bitcoin's golden number for corrections is 35%, altcoins is somewhere between 40 and 60. So 60. So since about 50, yeah. So since we have this important trend line here, which I'm almost guaranteeing you folks, it's going to hit this green line. I almost guarantee you it's going to hit. So price is getting higher. So if it waits longer to hit it, price will only go down to 2.3 cents if it does it March 25th. If it does it more quickly, let's say in 2 days, that's 1.9 cents. If it does it immediately, that's 1.7. And if it does do it immediately, that means it will dip below it, because it'll spring off. So if you could snag Bitcoin, BPRO under 2 cents, that's going to be one hell of a buy, or at 2 cents. Very good buy. Not 2.2, but 2 and 1.9 and 1.95. If you can get it at 1.7 or on the wick down, that would be like an amazing buy. Just like this was what? This was an amazing profit-taking area. Because right now, price is 35% lower. You can buy more of it now if you sold it here. If you like BPRO, that means you sell BPRO. Do you sell all of your bag? No. I mean, I can't tell you no. It's not financial advice. That's why I say 10 bag, 20 bag. Video link in the description. How to straddle orders around this line. Video links down in the description. But if you sell 20% here and buy back here, that 20% portion of your BPRO holdings instantly becomes 40%. Because it's now almost as big. It's now half as big as your original 80 when price it is in terms of the number of BPRO you have. If you have $10 and you buy 10 apples for $1 a piece, right? So imagine 10 apples, $1 a piece. Now you have 10 apples. Then you think the price of apples is going to fall, but you're not sure. You think it might go up. You sell 3 apples for $1 quickly before other people think it's going to go down. Now you have what? 7 apples and $3. The price tanks 50% to 50 cents an apple. Everybody around you selling apples for 50 cents because they're scared price is going to go down to 0. You use your $3 to buy apples. How many did you buy at that second time? 6. How many apples do you now have? 13. That 30%, that 30 bag that you sold is now almost a 50 bag. You had 7, you added 6, 7 and 6, and they're pretty close together. Your 30 bag almost became a 50 bag because you sold at the right time and bought back lower. That's how you grow wealth. I typically don't 100 bag things I like because just the what if price were to come up here, then you lost out, right? Because you shouldn't have sold. But in clear lines like this, like to 50 bag it, that would not be unreasonable. So if you had 10 apples, same thing, but you sold 5, now you have $5 and 5 apples. The price goes down to 50 cents. You double your apples. Double. Because that $5 buys 10 apples. Or it's not double. Yeah, it buys 10 apples. So now you have 15. So it doesn't double. 1.5. Sorry. You started with 10 apples. You sold 5. So now you have 5 apples, $5. Cuts 50%. You buy 10 apples. Now that 10 apples plus 5 is 15. You've 1.5x'd your holdings with a 50 bag. So if something is that clear, it's not going above, 50 bagging it is probably a damn good idea. However, I'm at the point with BPRO where I've made so much money from it. I was buying at the breakout down here. I'm just staking it now. I'm good. Although I am trying to get it under 2 cents. I think I want more. All right. Bitcoin and BPRO done. The rest will be very fast. To my Veracity loyalists. Jesus. Sorry. This is freaking impressive. This is very impressive. This is not typical. 1,000% from its high. Goodness. It's going to come down and hit this yellow line because of support. Just like Bitcoin. I think it's going to come down and hit less than a penny. So it's going to have a what type of correction? 50 to 60%. Wow. Isn't that crazy? 35 for Bitcoin, between 40 and 60 for altcoins. This isn't rocket science. All right. Shaw. I think it's ranging and going to make another push before it has a big correction. This looks healthy. It's going to give another push. Most likely. If it's one of the coins that falls with Bitcoin, it's going to come down here. So if you could buy, if you like Shaw and you want to try to get more, hitting the prior high around 0.0069, that would be good. Or if you're looking to get into Shaw, 0.007 or a tiny bit lower. But I think it's going to give another push. Bolt. If you saw in maybe 5 days ago in one of my videos, I was very clear with one weary thing about its breakout out of this formation. I said very clearly, historically, its price is choppy and not aggressive. And I think I said that trend might not change until it has an all-time high breakout, a blue sky breakout. I wish I weren't right on that. I wish it screamed up, ranged out a little bit and screamed up again. Or just did veracity. So it's still choppy. But this is healthy. Gotta get down to get up. It's building a nice base. This could have a very, very, very strong blue sky breakout. Very strong. But it might continue the trend. The trend continues until it ends. A trend is a trend until it isn't. You just have to use your best reasoning why the trend will end. So those are my thoughts on Bolt. I think it looks like price will stay choppy, build a nice base, slowly get up to its all-time high, and scream through it. And it might take till April 10th. But if you're that impatient, you need to adjust your expectations. I made a best guess on what MTV will be doing. Let's see how good my guess is. Because I know how things move. I think it's going to come down and hit this yellow line. I think it's going to hit the daily 21 at some point. I think it's going to be out here, though. March 22nd in 4 days. But if it does it faster, it'll go lower, but it'll still hit it and ping off of it. So it'll probably just be choppy around here. It might not come up and test this like I was thinking. It looks like it's going to get stuck below it, peek its head out, stuck below, peek its head out. And what that's doing is it's allowing this to catch up so that it doesn't have to go too low to hit it. You got to get down to get up. It's probably going to hit this yellow line. Does it have to? No. In bull markets, a lot of times it likes to ride the red, which is the daily 10 EMA, exponential moving average. So it could stay strong like this. The red line could go like this, and price could just stay on it with the red line, boom, bust out. That could happen. And in bull markets, that's typically what happens. But since it went on such a big run, kind of like Bitcoin, it's overdue. It just kind of needs to hit it. Why does it need? Because you got to get down to get up, right? What the hell else do we have? Oh, Silo. My previous videos, I said I think Silo will come up and hit this white line, or the top line. It'll bust through the next line and hit the next. Second one up. I'm not really for sure what it's done. See it. Holy cow. I'm not a wizard. I'm not from the future. It just looks strong. Just like I think Bitcoin looks weak. This is somebody bench pressing who does like 4 strong reps and just holds the bar up and just breathes for a minute before he does more, or she. That's what this is. That's why I could tell. And it's holding the bar up was this line. Confidently staying above it. For how much of a dip? Only a 16% dip. That's why I knew it was strong. That's why I knew it would bust through this line, people. I said it 2 days ago. I didn't cover it yesterday on this green candle because I did the chart video. It actually busted through the second one too. I didn't think it was going to do that, but where is it settling down to, that line? So it's actually stronger than what I said. Like, this reminds me of what Phantom's formation was before it went on its second big run, folks. And that second big run was like 4,000%. That's exact formation. Even though it did it for longer, 4,000% from that point would be 11 cents. It's under a penny. That's why I'm not 20 bagging Silo. I didn't 20 bag Silo here or here, because we don't have a clear, even though these are pretty good areas to do it. If you wanted to do it, these are pretty good areas to do it. Because it was so strong, this wouldn't have been a good area. This would have been. Even though it went through it, it's still profitable. You took profit. Why are you here? For profit. Are you here for perfection? No. If you are here for perfection, oh, but, you know, okay, watch. This is what you need to avoid. Take profits here. Oh, but it's going up more. I'm going to buy back. No, you took profits. Be happy. Wait until you have a good entry if you want to get back into it. If it doesn't come back down, wait till it to settle, cool its tits, and wait for momentum up. Buy the momentum up. Don't. If it busts through, that doesn't count as momentum. You have to wait for it to cool its tits, because you got to do what? You got to get down to get up. That's why I keep saying the 2-hour 89 EMA is such a perfect entry point to get back in, because it's the got to get down point. You got to get down to get up. That's like just like Bitcoin's 35%, just like altcoins 40 to 60%. Typically, the 2-hour 89 EMA is roughly about 40 to 45% lower than the very, very top on a wick. It just happens to match up. So it's easy. You can see a purple line. See my charting video if you don't know how to set this up. But applying Bitcoin to this, folks, it can make things go down faster, not necessarily lower, but it can make it hit these lines, scream down faster and look really weak, instead of allowing it to catch up as it goes sideways and then hits it, then goes up. That's what this Bitcoin drop's going to do, if I'm right. If you're looking to get into DAPPT, I think you still should wait. This is no trade formation. You do not know if it's going to break down. I think it's going to break down because it's under the 10. The red line, not the top red line. If candles start closing, let's take the 2-hour. 2-hour might be better. Yeah. So so go to see where my cursor is, 2-hour. If you want to get into DAPPP or whatever it's called, that's too many P's. I would wait for the candles not to go above and pierce above. See this? It pierced above. Pierced above. Oh, it's going up. No, it's not. It's below its 10 exponential moving average. Oh, and I've heard people say that on B-Pro. It's going back up. No, it's not. It's going to roughly do what I suggested it's going to do. That's why. Because that's how price moves. Look. Shoot. Look. Is it below the red line? Yes. Go to the 4-hour. It's below its red line. This is not going up. It's just piercing up because people think this is the base. I'm telling you, it's not. Now, it could be. It could end up doing what Silo did, but why do I think it's not? Because it doesn't have that yellow support line here. There's no support here, folks. This is just people who don't know what they're doing. And sometimes that is enough support though. It could go right back up. And if it touches this green line quickly without doing this, actually no, regardless. Doesn't matter if it goes down. If it touches this green line, what do you think you should be doing? Should be 20 bagging that shit. And turning 2 apples into 4 apples when it comes back down. Regardless of what happens here. Doesn't matter if you got to get down to get up. It's just if this bright green line, then 20 bag. Expect to buy lower. This is not financial advice. I'm talking about apples. Yeah, that's not going to hold up, folks. It could. Okay, the way this could. Now, this is the 1 hour. Yeah, that's not going to hold up. But it could. But this is a what if. This is not a top 3 most probable on BPRO. Capacity is testing this line. This is good. How much of a percent do you guess this is? How much do altcoins correct after a big push? 40 to 60%. Why do you think it's only doing 40%? So just like I said in BPRO, same thing here. Watch. Because it has a yellow line of support built from weekly candles prior. Look. And that was actually resistance, but past resistance becomes future support. Yellow line, resistance, resistance, resistance. Now it's support. When price breaks through strong resistance and comes back down to check it, what does it become? Support. Does BPRO have that there? No. That's why it's a what if that BPRO stays above 2.4 cents or wherever it is and goes back up to the green line. Very improbable. I'm not saying it's impossible. It could happen. But the way you make money is by going with the strongest 3 probabilities, but staying aware of the what ifs. You don't bet on the what ifs, people. If you're rolling dice, 2 dice, so 1 through 12, and you get the option, and the payout's the same for each option, you can bet on the number 2. You can bet on 3 through 6. You can bet on 7 through 11. Or you can bet on 12 through, or no, yeah, that's 12. So yeah, or 7 through 12. Let's imagine, I think 7 through 12 is slightly bigger than the other one, but regardless. So 2 big ones, 1 small one, all the same payout. Are you going to bet on 2 die being rolled at 2 snake eyes when you could bet on one that has way more probability? No. Now, if the payout were greater for that snake eyes, 3 times greater because it's, or 4 times greater because it's 4 times less likely, that would make sense. But on BPRO, here's why. Only noobs are buying here. So to sell here, the payout is not only lower, but it's more improbable. So it's more improbable and lower payout because you bought here and sold here. It's more payout if you buy here and sell here. This is noobs. No. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to make you guys make money. I hope this is making sense. So if you watch this whole video, I'm done now. When you see it hit this green line and it's kind of coming down and you're watching these lower time frames, oh, it's coming back up. No, it's not. Get off of that time frame. Go to the 4 hour. Where does it look like it's going up? Looks like it's going sideways. Stop looking at small time frames. They tell you the wrong story. All right, folks. Sorry I was being kind of a dick this video. I think I need more coffee. Anyway, we'll see you next time. You just got Timified. Cryptillions and crypto crackheads. Have a good Thursday. We'll see you next time.